Had a thought on Mythos. All this stuff they're finding in terms of vulnerabilities with banks and financial institutions. Can we turn it loose on fraud? Like Mythos, go find all the fraud in America, show us exactly what it is?
Yes, actually, and we've had a lot of debate about this. I struggle with government control over, like, lawmakers talking about they need, and with respect to Congressman Garbarino, they need to be talking with China about safeguards. No, we're not talking about our AI models with China ever. They can suck it and catch up, which they never will, if we don't screw it up here at home. Meaning, do not overregulate it when you don't understand it. However, these models, we should unleash them across our entire national security infrastructure. That way, we are protected. Like, Mythos should be going through, which I suspect it is, like every nook and cranny and seeking out and weeding out all the vulnerabilities in our national security system. And so that's what the models can do. They're not threats if they are developed by good actors who are acting and working in the best interests of the United States of America, which these great American companies are. So these models, these companies are strengths, not threats. I worry about too much oversight, too much of a big power grab by anybody in government. But I think, yeah, fraud, unleash them.
Can you imagine what it could find?
Yeah.
Like the banks, please, you got holes in your system because you didn't spend all the money that you made off of consumers by fixing those holes over the last 30 some odd years.
We talked about Cisco last segment. Guess what the CEO says the #1 question he's getting right now? What do we do about Mythos? Cisco is, and it's not a pop quiz that's cheatable. You can't look at the banner and try to cheat. Everyone is calling the CEO of Cisco and saying, what do I do about this? So that just shows the power.
What do you mean, what do I do about this?
It's a huge cybersecurity risk, right? Like, what if it comes and tries to attack us? If it can exploit all these vulnerabilities
against you.
Yes,
right,
exactly.
but that's vilifying Anthropic and a great American company by even asking that question.
I'm not vilifying it.
No, I'm saying they are.
Well,
whoever is asking that question, it's like, how can we make sure that, you know, we embrace it?
Yeah.
These are companies, I think, that are coming to him and saying, you are in cybersecurity. How do we make sure that our systems are up to date? How do we make sure that we, you know, have like the defenses around AI cybersecurity from attacks? I viewed it as a positive of people, clients taking this seriously and really understanding the power of AI and wanting to make sure that their vulnerabilities are hatched up.
But Mythos is not your enemy. It is communist China. That's my point.
Amen to that. I would say that also, as we discussed before, business people have different incentives than perhaps the United States does, right? And they're going to try to obviously make as much money as they can. And I'm not vilifying any American company, but I also watched a lot of other American companies export jobs to China in the 2000s and 2010s. So I do think it's wise to keep an eye on it. The level of regulation is hard to know, and that's going to be some dogfight when they do that. But I think it has to happen in some way.
I rather unleash it, to Dagen's point, and see what I've got on my hands. I think about the COVID virus and the arguments when COVID first started. And granted, it was much serious when it started versus how it developed over time. But we heard about herd immunity. And for some reason, the Democrats decided they wanted to lock everybody down, try to suppress it in that way. And that ended up not working. We ended up going through a vigorous vaccine mandate and many other issues that people dealt with because of lockdown, when ultimately everybody got it anyway. The vaccine never blocked you from getting it, and herd immunity was the only way we were able to move forward. So how does this apply to technology? I see it in a similar way. Put it out there, control it yourself, know what you're dealing with versus trying to suppress it, and you'll be able to move forward faster and better.
Can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
You mentioned companies, U.S. companies, basically outsourced our middle class to China and other Asian nations over a period of decades and not acting in the best interest of the United States. But technology companies have had a very different relationship with Communist China because they know China steals.
Yes.
And they know China steals their intellectual property. So is it different?
I hope so, but I'm not particularly sure because they may have vulnerabilities themselves that they're not keeping in mind. You look at the number of Chinese nationals that are receiving undergraduate and graduate degrees in computer science and programming and all the rest of it, and it just makes you wonder. I'm not vilifying anyone. By the same token, the stakes are very high here, and I think China may be a little bit more, let's say, cynical about its use of AI than we might be. We tend to be optimistic. We're innovators. They're copiers. It's just, it's a totally different mindset.
We're going to get into a lot of this again, I think, right at the top of the next hour. So this debate to be continued, but it was good to get you weighing in on that
Thank
one.
you.
Meantime, you're looking at Yeti. What's
Okay,
going on?
so
I
this
love,
is personal for
Yetis.
me because I have like thousands of these and I keep trying to throw them away. My husband won't let me because he's obsessed with Yeti. Curious if you guys are too. The numbers say everyone is. They had a beat on the top and the bottom line. Wholesale up 19%, direct to consumer flat because of lower corporate orders, but otherwise coolers and equipment up 11%, drinkware up 5%, raised full year guidance up 7 to 8% this year. Are you guys fans?
There are cheaper alternatives on Amazon that are just as good. I'm surprised people are buying into this the way they are, but they are.
They are. Are you a Yeti guy?
I'm not a Yeti guy. I don't have a lot to say on this subject, but
I'm 0 for 5.
No, when I get a Yeti, I feel like I've received something of great value.
Why?
Because it's, I like them. I just like Yetis.
You mean the coolers?
Anything.
Like the big
the
coolers?
Big coolers, little cups, like just tough things you can
It
put
makes you
stuff.
feel
Are they more
rugged.
viral than the Stanley Cups?
Stanley is come and gone.
Right.
Yeah, the
Yetis.
Yeti is more about like the
Right.
coolers.
Uh-huh.
But that's very like, I didn't think you were kind of a bougie poser like that.
I'm a bougie poser.